Hello and welcome back to the Football Chat podcast. It's episode number 92 today. We're going to be discussing Enzo Fernandez to Chelsea. It's sort of breaking news, isn't it? Saw this come out last night, reported by Felix Johnston, that it looks like Chelsea will actually get Enzo Fernandez. Is it a good move?
It's a brilliant move. I mean, he looked phenomenal at the World Cup, and he's 19?
Yeah,
he's world class. He's got the potential to be a world class midfielder, and 127 million is a lot right now.
Steep.
But I do think in 4 or 5 years, you'd think, looking back on it, 127 million was worth it.
Yeah, well, hopefully we do. I mean, the other 100 mil signings we've made haven't exactly looked the same, but hopefully this one turns out well. As I say, it's reported by Felix. He's not a well-known guy, so I will link him in the description down below because it is good work. He reports that it's 120 million in 3 instalments, so spreading the FFP cost, and £10 million of performance bonuses. I like that because it could have just been we have to pay it all. I do think 120 million is a lot though. Still,
it is quite a bit.
It's like signing 3 £40 million midfielders, and if you look at it like that, I don't know, is he worth it? Is all I'm asking. I feel it's a bit of a. I have some reservations. I certainly do. It feels a bit like João Felix when he went to Atletico Madrid. Had a good first half of the season with Benfica. I know he had the World Cup, and I think that makes me a little more confident.
Yeah.
If he hadn't gone to the World Cup, hadn't displayed his talents, I'd probably be saying this is just a no-go, this deal. But I think he's a very good player. Obviously, his price has risen because he was Golden Boy at the World Cup. I just think it's a big price tag. He's certainly a good player, though, so I'm excited to have him in the side.
He is.
If he plays well, it's worth the money, and if we look in 10 years, we should be happy.
If you're in Chelsea's situation right now, why are we splashing 127 million on a new midfielder when we don't have any backup wing backs?
Well, I mean, left back, we're all right.
Yeah.
We tend to play with the full back now. We are
but
slightly better.
When you've got Azpilicueta starting right back, should your first point of call be spending 127 million on a new midfielder?
I think it is. I look at our midfield.
We do need a midfielder.
It's been. I saw this on Twitter the other day. 1,067 days, I think, is the figure. Not the figure, but the number of days since Chelsea last signed a midfielder. That was when Mateo Kovacic signed, and that was obviously a obligation or something like that. It was an option to buy, and we ended up triggering it because we had the transfer embargo.
But I mean, Kante can't stay fit. Jorginho's pass, he's not good enough in the Premier League. Zacharias look good.
And I'd keep Zachariah on. I'd sign him at the end of the season, I think. But I do want another DM. I do want either Declan Rice or that Kone lad from Borussia Mönchengladbach. His first name escapes me, but he's a good young talent as well. We have to bring a DM. Enzo is a perfect Kova replacement. Similar profile, good range of passing, can drive the ball forwards. We saw all of that at the World Cup. I also think he possesses some of what Jorginho does. I mean, Jorginho doesn't do a lot, but...
Is he that Jorginho replacement? Because you're not going to drop Mount, you're not going to drop Zachariah. Equally, Kovacic has come back from injuries now.
Well, I think you line him up in the midfield with a DM and then have Mount pushed on more.
It's nice to have options in midfield for once. And now in saying that, this deal's going to fall through.
But I still look at a Jorginho Enzo Fernandez pivot and go, there's nothing defensive there. There just isn't, because Jorginho's supposed to be the more defensive minded one.
Do you play Enzo and
the thing is, Enzo can do well defensively. We saw that at the World Cup, how he had to cover for McAllister pushing on and DePaul standing out on the right and shouting at someone.
DePaul did well in the final.
No, that's the thing. DePaul was fantastic. Would you take it? I think it'd be good fun. Mate, he's not worse than John McGinn.
John McGinn's got injured as well.
Exactly.
And so Jacob Ramsey.
Exactly. And it can't be worse than Morgan Sanson. He's done nothing.
You've got Douglas Lewis and Bukayo Kamara doing the more defensive work. Well, we've got Kamara. Push Lewis on. You just need DePaul to exactly.
DePaul can just run around annoying people. Perfect. But yeah, there are a lot of problems at Chelsea. I think we'll touch on them now. I think Enzo is a good step, but we are recording this 2 days after the Nottingham Forest draw, so yeah, Chelsea in turmoil at the moment.
Love Azpilicueta, absolute legend, and obviously, I mean, phenomenal. But he isn't good enough now. I love him as a club.
Fantastic servant, brilliant player, loved him in his prime, but it's now 2 years too many.
But for me, unlike the Terrys and Ivanoviches, they ended on a high, whereas I feel...
Ivanovic, the sort of last year, he started to drop off.
I feel that Dave is starting to ruin a little bit of his
legacy.
By having a terrible this season. He's just past
it's disappointing.
He's just past it nowadays. As much like keep him on as a coach, bring him in as a coach because he knows the players and he's a brilliant leader.
And it's really frustrating when we've allowed Lamptey to leave, we've allowed Livramento to leave, and then we've not gone and signed a right wing back, but we've stuck with Dave. I feel like he should have been the one to go rather than them, or we bring in someone. And I feel like there's definitely players on the market.
I mean, Chelsea fans have been saying that we wanted a right back brought in for the last year and a half, and no one's done anything about it.
We have to get someone. I know Dumfries has been linked. I think that would be a good move. The only problem with Denzel Dumfries is he's going to want to play every match. Yeah. And does that then mean we try and shoehorn Reece James in at midfield or right centre back, which was completely brain dead?
That was strange from Tuchel. And he played Dave right wing back.
I didn't. And then Hudson and stuff. And then we've allowed Hudson to go this year out on loan. So I don't get what the plan was there. How we thought Aspie would be good enough
cover.
Would be getting
game time now.
Yeah, he would. And I'm worried that we play Chelsea in 2 days. City, sorry. We're not playing ourselves, unfortunately.
I think
it worries me. We might see a return to the 5 back, and then we might see like Sterling or Pulisic at wing back, and that would be horrific.
That's even worse than Dave.
Exactly.
So they can't defend.
Yeah, we have to sign a right back. I think there's definitely options, as I say, Dumfries, maybe Pedro Porro. I've seen Tottenham linked. I think it'd be really funny if we go and sign their only transfer target.
Yeah.
Because Tottenham aren't doing anything else. They're just looking at him at the moment.
I think right back's necessary. I think Fofana will offer Havertz a bit of a competition up front, but Havertz hasn't done too bad.
But this is the problem, though. I look at the Chelsea squad as a whole, and as a result of the scattergun approach of transfers over the last 5 years, we've got just the weirdest squad. Like, look at our striking options. A random youngster... Well, not a random youngster, Broad's very good, but a young player from the academy. We've got an attacking midfielder who has amazing ability, and we've got a striker that used to play for our rivals that signed on a free and is on $300,000 a week, and none of them can score at the moment. I mean, Breuer mainly because he's broke his.
Equally
torn something.
Havertz, Mount, and Sterling have all scored in their last 2 games. I know they're born from Forest.
No, this is my problem though. Mount and Havertz look sensational against Bournemouth. Don't get me wrong, but in the game against Forest, they went missing, and that's the issue.
Got handed that goal.
As soon as we have a tough game, Havertz and Mount go missing. And we just don't create anything, and it's miserable.
And because of that, we're now calling Nottingham Forest a tough game.
But also, if you look at our last 7 fixtures, we have lost 2, drawn 3. I can't do maths, but we've lost 3, drawn 3, won 1.
When you've got teams like United who are winning 5 on the bounce, or Newcastle won 6 on the bounce before they drew Leeds, it's just not good enough.
Yeah, well, if you look at that period of 7 games, Reece James played 1 of them. That was the 1 win. It shows his importance to the side. We have to sign a right back. It's we can't deal with Azpilicueta anymore. Graham Potter, stick or twist. I think we're both unanimous on stick for now. I don't see any point in binning off your long-term manager.
He's not like a Tuchel or Mourinho at what we've done over the years. We bring him in for 2 years. 1 season he wins something, the next year he has second season.
As much as many fans viewed Tuchel as a long-term option, I feel he was always a short-term stopgap. I don't think anyone thought he was going to win the Champions League.
No.
I think that the owners were like, you know what, he'll come in, we'll get top 4. If we do, we can have another year, and then we'll see what happens. But I think they always viewed a Graham Potter or maybe even a Julian Nagelsmann as a more long-term option.
I think the difference is, though, is obviously Potter has never managed in the Champions League with knockouts. Whereas, so if we had Tuchel in this situation, obviously I think Potter's a better option long-term, but if we had Tuchel right now, we'd be sitting here going, right, we're awful in the league, but we know under Tuchel that we can get it right. He can get it right for a 1 game.
Here's a question.
It's going to be interesting how Potter does. I mean, Carabao Cup, we got absolutely shafted because we drew City.
Yeah.
We've drawn City again in the FA Cup. Again, shafted.
Not looking forward to that on Sunday.
Dortmund's going to be an interesting one because that should be a game we're winning.
It should be. Here's a question. Would you have stuck with Tuchel in hindsight until the end of the season and then brought Potter in the summer when he would have had a couple months to work with the squad and see what can happen, and then you just try and win maybe another Champions League?
Because I think
if it goes wrong, it goes wrong.
I think Tuchel would take us deep in the Champions League, or win an FA Cup or a Carabao Cup.
I do disagree with the common notion that we're out of the hunt for top 4 though. We're only 7 points off, and if Potter can get us playing some nice football, I think Tottenham have a bad run in them. Liverpool look really poor at the moment, and we'll touch on that in a moment.
Liverpool are starting down.
Yeah.
United could always do United things.
I think United are most likely out of those 3 to get top 4 right now, and I think Newcastle, they're playing very well. Don't get me wrong, but they've got a downfall in them. I think they seem to be playing really well at the moment, but it's
0-0 for Leeds.
They're riding that confidence wave. They're playing really well, but eventually that is surely going to dissipate. So
I do feel for Tottenham because after.
Do you?
Well, no, I don't. No, I don't. But after the Palace game that is being was played last night by the time this goes out. I mean, is it tomorrow?
I don't know when Palace Tottenham is.
So Tuesday or Wednesday is Tottenham Palace.
It'll either be tonight or last night.
After that, the next 2 games are Arsenal and City.
Yeah, they have.
They're in trouble.
And then they play City again 2 weeks after that.
Yeah,
because of the weird fixture
redistribution. But there's nothing they can do. They can't sack Conte because it's not the manager.
Is it not?
Well, no. I've seen people saying it's Poch, Mourinho, Conte, 3 of the best managers in football have gone into that side and haven't been able to deliver anything.
Yeah, but I look at the squad this year. It's a very different team to what Mourinho and Nuno had. It's perfect for one man, Antonio Conte. He got the wing back he wanted. He's not used him.
It's weird that it's not working.
He's got both wing backs. What do you want Perisic as well, didn't he? And he's not used DJ Spence at all. I find that a bit odd when Emerson Royale's so tragic.
Yeah.
I think centre backs, they definitely need another one because
Tanganga can't be your backup.
Yeah, not great. But other than that, it's a strong Tottenham team, so I don't get why it's not worked. Conte though looks like he doesn't want to be there anymore.
But I mean, Tottenham need to pick up results. Chelsea need to pick up results.
Everyone needs to pick up results, basically.
Yeah, it's not looking great for some of the big guns, but in the likes of Brighton, we laughing.
Well, I mean, yeah,
they
were unfortunate against Arsenal, but then they have got a pretty nice midweek game, right? Can't remember who they're playing, but
neither. I'm sure it's nice.
I'm sure it's a lovely one.
Yeah.
Another team sort of in a mini meltdown. Man City. What's going on there?
That
currently.
The draw to Everton's. I mean, the only team that are actually playing well right now is Arsenal. 7 points clear.
Oh, and United.
I don't see him dropping the ball.
I mean, we'll see tonight at the time of recording, obviously, how United get on against Bournemouth. But overall, I've been quite impressed with how they've played.
Very impressed.
I think Marcus Rashford is key to how they play. As much as I get though that they had to discipline him. Yeah. If he's missing meetings, you got.
I also look at the game week just gone, game week 18. Just looking at the results that we've had over this period, Liverpool losing, City dropping points, Chelsea dropping points, Tottenham losing twice.
Liverpool's wasn't in 18 though, was it?
Oh no,
that's
not
the
in
first
18,
game in 19.
Just in terms of because it's basically a massive game week that's just kind of merged into different ones. Yeah, no one's really playing very well.
No, not at all. Should we move on to Liverpool?
Because this is makes me happy.
Yeah, Monday morning, abysmal. Monday evening, abysmal.
They were awful.
It was a really, really poor performance overall. They just never got going at all.
No.
From the off, Brentford looked the stronger side. They're creating the better chances. Every time they come forward, Brentford looked incredibly dangerous. They looked like they were going to score. And from corners, I mean, Liverpool might as well have just sent all their players up and let Brentford kick in the back of an empty net.
Canate comes back to the World Cup, scores an own goal. Yeah, not great. And then what's the second? Second one was another corner, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Visser, poor bloke, scored a hat trick.
He was quality, to be fair.
He was brilliant. Obviously, 2 goals getting rolled off, but I mean, he still got one in the end. And then who?
He did, yeah.
I mean, half time. You know something's going wrong when Klopp makes 3 changes at half time. And he took off Van Dijk.
That's a big call, and that was the first point I wanted to touch on. What is going on with Van Dijk at the moment?
I don't know.
He looks just terrible.
But it also shows when he doesn't play very well, the whole defence falls apart.
First half of the season, he hasn't been that impressive, especially compared to recent years. And the season before that, you could make excuses like he's injured, he's come back from injury and stuff like that. But this season, there's no excuse for his performances. He's not played
well. He's been back from the
well.
World Cup for a while because he got knocked out in the quarters.
Does he deserve to be benched for the next game?
Who have they got? Maybe.
Brighton,
even
right?
Konate was rubbish as well.
So, just who Liverpool
Who are
play?
they going to play? Matip and
Konate.
Phillips. I've just said Konate looked awful.
Yeah, he didn't look great, but Van Dijk looked worse.
And then bring on Robertson at half time. But Simicast is not ideal.
Yeah, Liverpool play Brighton.
That's not.
That's a really tough game. Especially you'd be hoping to take advantage of the fact United have got to go to City. Got to host City. Tottenham are playing Arsenal. They're probably not going to pick up points. Liverpool would have wanted to pick up points. I don't know if they will against Brighton. No. I think they'll lose that game. Brighton are a really good side.
And they can't score either, Liverpool. Yeah, they can't. Defensively woeful, but I didn't see any of the front three.
And they are only 3 points ahead of Chelsea now. Chelsea with a game in hand. Obviously, that is Manchester City. Yeah. So I don't think that's going to be caught. But Liverpool, the fact that they're even there shows that as much as people clown on Chelsea down in 9th at the moment,
everyone thought that Liverpool are also playing poorly.
Yeah, no. And Brentford are a place behind them now in the league, aren't they?
Yeah, and I thought Darwin Núñez would have scored, but no, didn't count.
Oh no, it's gutting. Darwin Núñez.
That man's never going to score.
I don't think he will.
I genuinely can't.
It's there's such compelling comparisons between him and Timo Werner. Both just every time they score, it's offside. Every time they should finish it, it's onside, and the fans are still behind him and love him regardless. They're chanting the name.
Darwin.
Well, no, they're not chanting that, but they do chant Núñez, like we used to do with Werner. They can get behind him. He's not doing a lot at the moment. Yeah.
Thing is, it's hilarious as rival fans, but for Liverpool fans to watch your striker. I mean,
you're 90 million.
I felt like with Werner,
that striker.
Every time he goes through, he scores. You don't celebrate. It's going to be rolled offside.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, it was rolled offside. But yeah, that man's over to Salah again.
I feel with time though, Werner would have come good. So I think Núñez will come good eventually. But if Liverpool get relegated this season.
I mean, Salah, again, post-Christmas curse, he never does well after Christmas.
I thought he broke it because he scored on Boxing Day, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then since then, has been poor. Might have to bin him out with FPL team.
Yeah. Who else played? I mean, Oxlade-Chamberlain scored.
Yeah.
He was the best player in that front three.
FPL, bring him in.
Only for Cody Gakpo, you've got Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Yeah, Gakpo, it looks like he could make his start next time out.
I mean, everybody's thinking, why on earth I joined this football club?
It panned to him, I think, after the third goal, and you just see him, and he looks so miserable. Obviously, it's like he's not going to be sat there laughing, smiling, joyous, but yeah, he looked really upset. Should we move on to Manchester United, and their search for a striker continues. Obviously, Cristiano Ronaldo unveiled at Al Nassr the other day. Everyone's favourite Saudi Arabia.
United can add a striker to this team.
I think Martial's very good, but they have to have rotation.
Yeah.
Especially the amount of fixtures they're going to have to play. When you consider they're still competing in the Carabao Cup, they're still competing in the FA Cup and the Europa League, and obviously the Premier League. They haven't just been that off. One man they're linked with, Randall Kolo Muani, former non-striker, now at Frankfurt, only joined in the summer, but had a decent World Cup and now is being targeted by Manchester United. For 60 mil, do you think he's a good signing?
I mean, I would, but I thought they were already doing loans.
Well, that's what they were, and then they've been priced out of a Felix loan because Atletico Madrid want 20 mil.
Went in a loan deal?
Yes. They want like 5 mil wages, 18. No, not 18 mil. Maybe 8 mil.
That's ridiculous.
But it's a big fee, basically.
Just to have for a year. Or 6 months.
Six months, play us 20 mil, something like that. But yes, I've been priced out of a Felix loan. Randall Colomwani, I think they view him as a long-term project, signing. So 60 mil, that makes sense. He looked really good, but I question why I think you'd leave that till the summer.
It's a lot of
See if it
money.
gets on the second half of the season. I mean, we say 60 mil's a lot, 127 mil is a lot more. But Enzo did impress more at the World Cup. But yeah, I like him. He used to play for Nantes, iconic player. But yeah, I feel like he could have a similar sort of, tough time like Martial did. Young French striker joining on after a good World Cup. Martial didn't join after the World Cup, but still, moving on with the analogy, he could flop. But in rotation with Martial, I think he would be a good option.
Equally,
you got to ease him in with the rest.
Paul Scholes thinks Martial could be like Henry.
So you don't, maybe Moani will be another Henry. We're having 2 Henrys in your team. Yeah. And then, but they are going to be competing with Bayern Munich for the signing of Moani. So they're not going to get him because Bayern get what they want.
As much as United, Premier League and that, you could just, it depends on who you are really. Because you could just go to Bayern and think, I'll happily win the Bundesliga every year, the Pokal every year, and then we might win a Champions League.
And the fact that Bayern don't have a striker right now, you'd be desperate to go.
Does it just get boring?
For what, being a Bayern fan? I don't know many Bayern fans.
Surely at one point the celebrations aren't as enjoyable.
You're still winning though, aren't you?
Oh look,
you won the league.
We're lifting our 52nd
consecutive, yeah. We've won it again, everybody. Yeah, I guess after a while the silverware might become boring, but you have. I don't think it does though. I feel like you'll always still be happy to win it. I think you reset the start of every season, so when you get to the end of it, you're like, we smashed that. Now it's time to do it again. And
do you
also,
think they purposely lose games?
I don't think so. No, but the expectation on their shoulders, considering that Bayern have won all of the last 8.
It's like when PSG randomly lost the league to Lille.
Yeah.
I mean, that's brilliant for Lille.
And then that squad got torn apart.
Actually, you have to have a perfect season to beat Bayern or PSG.
Yeah. Other rumours? Should we finish up with some of these? We've got some other transfers to talk about. Soyuncu, obviously of Leicester currently. 6 months left in his deal, and he is linked with Atletico Madrid.
No one wants to be at Leicester, do they?
No one wants to be at Atletico either, to be fair. Right now, they're not doing great, especially not João Felix. But yeah, I guess Soyuncu watched without face, overhead kick, 2 own goals in. He knows that Leicester could be relegated in 6 months. I don't think they will be, but
you never know.
He's thinking of his future prospects there. Yeah. I think Atleti's a good move for him.
Get out of that, you'll get playing the Champions League.
I think he'll suit Simeone perfectly.
Just kick it long and fun.
Well, bit of a shithouse.
Yeah.
I feel like Soyuncu loves a yellow card, probably.
Yeah,
he looks like he loves a yellow card.
Ball out of play, time waste. Yeah. WWE slam people into walls and things, aren't
they? Yeah, that's exactly what they do.
In the La Liga. It's just randomly.
I remember the City game last year. It was the quarterfinals of the Champions League when they were just barreling over Foden and stuff.
No need.
It's quite funny to watch. Stefan Savic just deciding to have a go at someone.
If he did it to Chelsea, I'd be furious.
Yeah, but we played Atleti in our run to the Champions League, didn't we? So we'll be fine.
Oh yeah, we won it.
Exactly. I'm worried for Chelsea against Dortmund.
We'll beat Dortmund.
Will we?
Yeah.
Jude Bellingham's there though. Imagine we decide to sign Enzo instead of Jude, and then Jude Bellingham comes and Duffy's us while Enzo's stood there watching.
No.
I would cry. But yeah, other central midfielders linked to Chelsea. We've got Moise Caicedo. Now he is linked with Chelsea, Liverpool, United. I don't think that Chelsea will go in for him now. If they do end up signing Enzo Fernandez, I think that'll be a bit of a ridiculous scenario where they've signed 2 very similar profile players.
One thing we didn't mention with Man United is they have a brilliant first 11, but depth is a problem.
Yeah.
You lose Eriksen or Casemiro, you've got Fred and McTominay. You lose one of Varane or Martinez.
Shaw's at centre half.
You've got Shaw at centre half, or Maguire or Lindelof.
Yeah.
Dallow's injured. Wan-Bissaka's done well actually, but De Gea gets injured. Tom Heaton, because the brother's been recalled by Newcastle.
Very good player. Yeah, but they could probably. Can they recall Dean Henderson? Don't know if they've got that. I can't. He's on loan.
I didn't think he was on loan. I thought it was permanent.
I don't think so. I'm fairly sure I heard Jamie Carragher say he should be in the United side next season, which he said for the last 3 years. So he must just despise De Gea.
Talks rubbish.
He does. What was I going to say then? 70 mil. Do you think that is a good bar? Do you think that's a
English
good deal?
tax.
He's not English.
No, Prem
merchant, mate.
tax.
Yeah, obviously. But Real Madrid are also linked. So I think
they don't have to pay 50.
I don't think there's a chance of him joining Real Madrid though, because I think Real will get Bellingham.
And they've already got Xiaomeni, Camavinga.
Yeah, exactly. Mate, a midfield three of Bellingham, Xiaomeni, Camavinga. That doesn't seem
no point
like that shouldn't be allowed.
Because then you've got Vinicius left wing, Rodrigo right wing, Endrick up front.
Yeah, exactly.
Then what? Ferland Mendy,
Militao,
Rudiger.
No, Rudiger's not going to be around forever. If this is the young team.
Okay, Militao. They need a right back.
Militao could play right back though.
Courtois can keep going.
I don't think he can, but sure. It's a very strong Real Madrid team.
They're quite good.
They'll probably end up getting Bellingham. And they're still targeting Haaland, but I just don't see him leaving City unless something catastrophic like the Saudis decide to pull their money, or not the Saudis, sorry.
Or depending how much
whoever the hell
money.
City.
Depends how much money Real Madrid came. Well, if Real Madrid went and chucked 300 million at Haaland.
I don't think even if you chuck it at Haaland, I don't think Haaland has the power to accept it.
No, I mean, would City accept 300 million?
I don't think so.
400.
What other striker scores 21 goals or whatever it is in about 5 games? There's no one. Like, how do they replace him? You go get Dusan Vlahovic or something. What are you gonna do? Unless they're getting Mbappe.
Well, Vlahovic was so hyped up at Fiorentina.
He's done nothing.
It's awful.
I don't think that's really his fault. I think Juventus in general have been awful.
They're in the mud. They've got such a good squad. Vlahovic, Chiesa,
Di Maria. That is it.
Di Maria looked really good at the World Cup.
He did, but he doesn't.
No defence. Who even defends?
Well, they signed Bremer, didn't they, from Torino? In centre half, right? Yeah, he did join Juve.
Yeah, he's quite good.
He is quite decent, and they've got probably still Chiellini. Well, he's not played. I think he's played about 1 game. No, that's it. He was injured, and then he put out.
He said he was injured.
He put on Instagram that he's skiing.
That man.
Oh, what bones he broken then? If he's going skiing.
His hair was also a traditional colour rather than like a random pink, red, blue, yellow.
Yeah. Calm down, Grove Souness.
Paul Pogba, he's rubbish.
Final transfer room to talk about Maximilian Vorba to Leeds. It's another Red Bull.
It's a Jesse Marsh signing. How long Jesse Marsh will be there, I don't know. But they've picked up some decent results.
He's a good player, Vorba, but a 4th Red Bull signing?
Do they need him? Where's he play? Left back, right?
He's centre half.
That's fine.
They can cover centre half and left back, though.
They do need a left back.
They do, but he's not one.
And they do need a centre half.
So they go get the Leipzig left back. Who even? Oh, David Rao, isn't it? No, Angelino's left, eh?
Where's he now?
Don't know. Shall we have a look?
Yeah.
And that's how we're going to end the show. Where is Angelino?
Angelino. Where is he?
I think he's still in the Bundesliga. I think it's like
at Werder Bremen.
Nah.
At Berlin.
Leverkusen. No, Hoffenheim on loan.
Ooh, that's close.
Yeah. He's played 14 games this season, 7.17 average rating.
He's played quite well.
He's done alright, yeah.
Yeah, sign him up, Leeds.
3 assists as well.
That's pretty good.
Well done, Angelino.
Where are Hoffenheim in the league?
They are 11th.
Oh dear.
Not stunning, but he's done well.
By the way, Berlin and Dortmund have fallen off.
Yeah. Bayern are going to win the league.
Yeah.
Right, that's the end of our Bundesliga roundup. Yeah. Bayern have won.
I feel like hype at the start of the season that Cologne or
I know.
Freiburg
We're recording
or Leipzig
podcasts
might win. No.
Like, is Sherrado Becker better than Haaland?
You know, Berlin, that was it. No, it's not Cologne. Cologne's not on that one.
Not good.
But yeah, is it going to be Berlin? Is it going to be Freiburg? No, Bayern are like 7 points clear.
Bayern have won everything. Great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's all for today. It's been a good ep. We'll be back again next week. Same time, same place. Probably talking about
Maybe
Chelsea again.
Place.
Definitely not.
Not record it outside.
It's freezing at the moment.
We'll go to a football pitch. We'll take the table and the equipment to a football pitch. We'll do that as our backdrop.
Maybe in the middle of summer.
Not even in the middle of summer. I wouldn't want to do that.
The wind would do this.
Yeah, the wind.
Sound, and then you get
There's not much wind in
dog
summer.
come over and decide he wants to be on the show. Yeah, it wouldn't work. Anyway, enough ridiculousness. If you have enjoyed, make sure to get involved in the comments. Leave a like, subscribe. Tell us what you think of Enzo Fernandez. Do you think it's a good deal for Chelsea? Do you think they're being robbed by Benfica?
Also, I hate people that like comment under things. Oh, surely they're breaking FFP. Don't do that if you don't know what FFP is.
Okay.
It just annoys me, alright?
Thankfully, we've got the FFP.
I'm not saying comment under our videos. I mean, like, I've seen it all over. People comment under so many different people's posts and everything.
I'd like to think that someone at Chelsea might mention to Bowley that we do have to comply with financial fair play.
That's why it's in 3 instalments. Makes it a lot easier to deal with.
Exactly, because it's 3 40 mil signings per season.
Yeah.
And I imagine we'll give him a 7-year contract. I mean, Benoit Badiashile's got 6.5 years.
He is a baller. I am talking about him today.
He is. I think everyone will be on long contracts, so it spreads out the fee.
He'll be very good. He'll do very
also,
well.
Benfica have already signed, are already in talks to sign their replacement. It's Andreas Shoutout, who is the fantastic. Have you not heard of this kid?
No.
He's a fantastic player at Nordjylland. He's going to end up fetching 130 mil as well. But yeah, that is all for today. If you're on Spotify as well, add to episodes, download, follow, rating, all that great stuff, and whatever other podcast site you're listening to us on. If you want
to make sure to go check out the guy that reported this Enzo Fernandez did first.
Yeah, Felix Johnson will be linked in the description down below. I'll leave a link to his YouTube channel, so make sure to go subscribe to him. But that is all for us today. Thank you all very much for watching or listening, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.